Welcome back to the channel. So today I actually traveled to Grand Falls to come see Jean. So we wanted to film a new intro and we want to do a little bit of work on the Cobra because somebody's been slacking. But before we actually dive into that, and hopefully you've seen at the beginning of the video the new intro. So it's just a little something that we decided to throw together. And now we're at a special place.
So guys, we'll bring you with us. It's a little spot we got for, there's a bunch of old cars and all kinds of parts and stuff. So we're going to come and take you guys with us. So come on.
We're going to show you the things, but we're not going to show you where.
Yeah,
so.
Top secret.
So we're just, it's a lot of walking. You can see the little bits and pieces everywhere, right? So there's a lot of junk and a lot of stuff that actually is completely damaged, but little bits and pieces, sometimes you can find gold. And the thing is, every year, more parts come out of the ground, which is a little strange, but yeah, as you can see up top here, you can already see a couple of cars. But we'll put the camera on pause and we'll try to climb a little bit and then show you more. Alrighty, so now I actually found a nice gem. It's a 1969 Roadrunner. No, I guess it's all rusted. Alright, so here's a few cars. So as you can tell, a lot of this is damaged. Well, I'll say 98% of it. Most of everything here is completely damaged, but it's always good for little bits and pieces, right? So badging. Chrome, yeah, because the chrome on these cars, it's not like the new cars. Obviously, as you know, it stays nice for a while. As you can see in the trees there's a bunch of cars everywhere.
And good for entertainment.
Yeah, we like just to come here and just peek at what's here. Even if we don't get anything, it's just fun. Everything actually eventually falls off that cliff. So that's where all the parts come from. So that's why they are all damaged. So you're not going to find a complete car here. Good luck finding one.
Well, there's some more complete. The higher you go, the more complete they are and the less damaged they are, but they keep going down. And there's no really way of taking these out. Like you can get a door, you can get a bumper, a badge or something, but you can't get a complete car out of here.
But as you can see, there's lots of them. Lots and lots of them. A lot of rust. You want patina? You get patina here. Well, you got a little too far from patina, but yeah.
There's a nice cab there. That one used to be up in the trees there.
And then it eventually fell down. So that one had a nice door at one point, I think.
Half decent. Well, half decent. It's good for the lettering and stuff. Like it'd be a nice wall hanging piece. The roof is nice.
Typically, all the roofs here.
For the orange one we had at the shop, the orange GMC.
That's true.
Same as that, but we sold that in our cleanup. So,
and that's why Mr. Jean hasn't been doing a whole lot of videos these days because he's been cleaning the shop. Yeah, so let's just climb up and we'll go see that cab and then we'll go see what's up there. It gets a little sketchy. We hope that Jean doesn't fall. And of course, I'm holding a camera, so it's kind of odd, but it's here. So, oh yeah, it dented now.
Yeah.
Last year it was actually in really good shape.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. But I guess over the years, doors are everything is getting buried.
And look at all that pile. Like, that's years and years and years
of cars rusting and falling over each other and going down. There's no panel there. Looks like an old Buick or an old 50 Chevy's car. There's all kinds of stuff. Hey Mark, catch!
So yeah, we gotta basically tag team it going up. So for most people it'd be junk. For us, it's entertainment. Monarch?
There's less on this side, I think, eh?
Yeah, it's all on the other side. We'll put you on pause and we'll climb up a little bit. Hanging with the camera, it's kind of sketchy. I was almost able to film Jean on 4x4 status here.
4x4 mode, boys. Not used to doing this stuff.
I'm not 100% sure how old that is, what year it is, or...
No coupe of some kind.
Pretty rusty. Like everything
Look
else.
at the chrome though, Mark. Fucking mint.
Yeah, you can't find that on a 2020 now.
Is that 55 Chevy?
Pretty sure it is.
There? Looks like it.
Yeah, with a quarter panel going up there. Obviously, again, you're not going to rebuild any of these cars.
There's some more there.
But it's entertainment for us.
Entertainment.
Not a lot of people actually come here, which is pretty cool. But they're all over. Yeah, so they use this as a dumping ground so they can stop. Actually, I'll let Jean explain it here.
Because my dad, he used to drop cars off of here. There was a bunch of erosion, so every year they put the fill and it never stopped, so they start dumping the cars, and that's why they're all piled up like that. If you look there, that's pretty high, so somebody does not want to fall down here. There's some scattered everywhere. My dad used to come here with the towing, and on top of the hill, they then strap it and back up and brake, and the cars would fly into this hole. And all over the valley, it's full of cars. So how many cars? We don't know, but there's lots.
Probably hundreds and hundreds and hundreds.
Yeah. Smart.
Yeah, I almost fell down this. Yeah. It's pretty steep.
Yeah, it's pretty steep. Doesn't look steep on the camera, but it is pretty steep. Like, take the level. It's like this, man. It's pretty steep.
We gotta be careful. That's how we're going down, as you can see, Jean. That's why he was going 4x4 mode coming up earlier.
Alright, well, I think we gotta go this side. Holy shit, man.
That's what you get from coming down this hill. So we'll actually cut this short because we wanted to go on the other side, but it's starting to get really warm and we actually have stuff to do today.
Yeah.
So what do you say?
Yeah,
Come back another day?
Yeah.
See, if you guys like this type of stuff, we can bring you to another couple locations. We're not going to tell you where they are or anything as well, honestly.
Far, far away.
In a galaxy far, far away. But, yeah, so if you guys want to see more, we can actually eventually go up there. There's more cars. Over there, there's more cars. On the back side of it, again, more cars.
There's some everywhere. So you need to take a full day and walk around.
And today we've got stuff planned because we got to get some stuff done on the Cobra. And
yes, about time.
Yeah, pretty much. And he's not wearing his pink shirt yet, so we'll see. So now let's go. We're gonna go and take a few videos and try to do a different intro because there was still snow in the intro that we had. So gonna try to change it up a bit. So we'll catch you up in a bit. Alrighty, so welcome back. So we actually went this morning to look at the cabs and whatnot, but now we are back at Jean's shop. So as you can see, we're gonna be working on the AC Cobra, and oh, look at this. Jean's wearing pink. So you know, since he didn't want to do, well, he was busy. We'll show you the outside a little later. He was busy on the outside and hadn't done any videos. I told him, well, you know what? I'm gonna make him a nice pink shirt, and that's what he's gonna have to wear. But guess what? It's already dirty.
But what do you expect when you're wearing a pink shirt, right?
So we got a lot of stuff planned today. So we're gonna try to tackle as much as we can on the AC Cobra. Our list is pretty long. We'll tell you in a few minutes. Try to do it as much as we can. But first, before we dive into that and tell you what we're gonna do today, Jean's gonna show you a little bit of work that he's done since the last episode that you've seen. A little bit earlier, so about like few days ago. Hopefully I'm quick enough to post this, so it's only going to be like a few days. So hand it over to Jean.
Okay guys, so I wanted to show you guys some real progress. Last video, well, I did a bit of work. It wasn't really as much progress as I wanted to, but now I got some progress to show you guys.
Woo, progress!
Progress. We got the shock mounts, or no, we got the bag mounts the AR mounts. We are missing the shock mounts, but we are going to be working on that today. And there's still a few things to tidy up, but at least it's getting closer to being on its own wheels again. And so to start off, what we're going to do today, we're going to put the motor, or take the crane, put the motor on the crane, and we're going to go ahead and remove the clutch. And Mark, I'll tell you why right now.
All right, so why do we want to remove the clutch? Well, it is a twin disc clutch, so we still want to retain that. But as you can see, we're running a Chevrolet transmission for this. So we're not running anything Ferrari based because everything is rear transmission mounted, or if it's too old, it's too expensive anyways, right? And we want something that if we break it, because we're going to break it, right?
Mine is the motor, because that's going to be expensive.
Yeah. If we break the transmission, then we can actually swap it quickly. So we actually went with an AR5, so it's a pretty tough transmission. We've used it on LS swaps, and they're doing pretty good. So that's what we're going to be using. But the problem is, as you can tell, this is the stock bell housing from the Maserati engine. Typically, it's rear transmission. This bolts into the engine, right? So we're good with that, but it won't connect to the transmission. This is a removable bell housing, so we'll take this off, and obviously we're gonna have to modify this, get an adapter plate, make everything work. But today we're not gonna do that. We just want to have the spacing. So essentially, once we throw the engine in, we want to see where the transmission will end up, simply so we can put a cross member. We want to get our cross members done right away, because the frame right now is welded onto the table. So it's not moving, not flexing. So it's the best time to do all our cross members, and once we actually remove it, we know that it is done 100% square, 100% straight, no movement. So that's what we're tackling today. And then also, as you can see, we need the shock mounts done, so that's something that we'll be tackling. We'll also be tackling the front cross member per se, where everything's going to bolt up for the radiator mount and whatnot.
And that's another reason why we want to put the motor in it, because we want to put everything, make sure everything clears good and it's not in the way of nothing. And then we'll be also testing the headers, or the stock headers. I wanted to get the exhaust on the side, and I've seen a couple pictures of different setups. I'm not sure what I want to do, but I'm figuring it's going to be too loud, because Mark was saying that car.
So initially when I started that engine, when I pulled it out of the Maserati, I decided to cut the exhaust off, right? And I was like, because I really wanted to go full on, super loud. And I started it up in the garage. And even at idle, the walls were shaking. It sounds like it's so crisp. And as soon as you rev it, I was like, no, there's absolutely no way. So essentially what we're going to try to do is run the exhaust back, but potentially run cutouts on the side. So if Jean shows up at a show and whatnot, wants to make some noise and remove some dust off the ceilings.
Or maybe a little burnout or something.
Yeah.
You never know, right?
So that's what we'll try to do. So while Jean is hooking up the engine on this, I'll show you a little bit of what we've done. So we pulled the bell housing off of this transmission here, so that's set up. This is another input shaft that we had from the other, well, the Maserati. We figured out that it's the same OD for this and this, so we can place the transmission where it needs to go. He's just hammering at it, so figured.
Yes.
Like a glove. So we'll bolt up one side, because this side we cannot reach the bolt because it's welded to the table right now, but these mounts is solid, won't move anyways. So what we're going to do now is we're going to put the transmission here, put it all the way in like it would normally sit on the car, so that way we know exactly where our cross member is. Once that is done, we can do a cross member, we can do the transmission mount, and that will essentially have that in place. At that point, we can determine what the suspension, what we'll do. So as you can see with the intake, once we have that mounted, it still wouldn't be in the way. We do, however, have plans to possibly get rid of this intake. We're not going to touch on this right away.
Super top secret.
Because as Jean said, it is super top secret.
Nobody can know about it.
So,
not even G.
Do we give him a little hint? 2 throttle bodies? That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. Ferrari. Oh, I'm sorry. I got kind of given, yeah. So that's sort of the plan for
Mark,
that.
I don't have $7 grand to put on an intake, so.
If you can't buy it, you build it. So that's where we're at. We'll throw the transmission in and then give you a quick update once we have a little more stuff done. We don't really want to bore you with a bunch of time lapse and stuff this time. So let us know if you prefer having a bunch of time lapses or no time lapses at all. Because essentially we don't know what you like. We know what we like. Maybe we don't even know what we like, but you know, just let us know in the comment. Do you want us to put more content like this where we do a little bit, we explain to you what we're doing, why we're doing it, and then move on to the next thing? Or you want to see time lapses of us putting the engine in, etc. So let us know in the comments. So here's where we're at this point in time. So we put the transmission there. Obviously, we just wanted to know for the cross member where it's going to be. So right now, what John's doing is going to get his laptop so we can actually connect the plasma cutter, the CNC cutter, and we'll make some plates to go here, which then we'll weld, and then we'll be able to make our cross member. So that's how we're going to do there. This here, we're going to make the bell housing later on, and then when it comes down to exhaust system. So as you can tell, if we run it the way it's supposed to go, we're down in the frame. It doesn't fit. So we're thinking, and we just mocked it up like really quick. Obviously, I'm not too good doing it with one hand, but I think we can actually fit it this way, that if we'd actually make some pie cuts, go into a muffler, and then go out the side pipe here. So that might work. So we'll be able to see once we put the body to see if the fitment, if it fits under the hood, because it is actually fairly tight under this hood. But I think we can actually make it fit there. So we'll see. We'll see. Another thing we're looking at after that is done, we'll be cutting some plates to do these shock mounts. So the shock mounts will go here, and then the shock mounts will be connected with each other. So that's going to make a support in the front. Once that is done, we can get rid of this rusty piece of metal that's just acting as the cross member for now, because we'll have a cross member here and a cross member up front that will take care of it. What's going to go in front here? Well, that's going to be the dry sump tank. So we're going to run everything down low, and obviously we're going to make a little skid plate, and that's where that's going to go. So as far as progress, it's been a couple of hours. We had some people stop by. You know how it is. People stop by and then we talk. But I think we're making some good progress. So now we'll fire up the CNC, design what we want cut, and then we'll show you a little bit about that process as a whole. So maybe if you want to have a CNC at your place, well, you can look into that. So we'll catch you in a minute.
Hey guys, we're back. Oh, we should come over here. We'll take a look. We took the bell housing. I think you said that just now, right?
Yeah.
So what we're going to do, we're going to build a little bracket with two 45s and with two slots. So we'll be able to weld that on the frame, and then it'll give us the possibility to open up to build a cross member. So I'll go over at the computer. We'll program the little tabs, get that cut, bend them in the press brake, and then we'll tack them on. So we'll be able to take this out, and then we'll start on the shock mounts after that for clearance issues. So come with me, guys. And for the program, I'm using the Torchmate program. Where I work, we have AutoCAD, and so I'm working with both programs. They're a bit different, but they all do the same thing. So okay, so I want 2x6, 2.5, sorry. And then I want slots. Okay, I'll go. I haven't used this program in a while, so it's a bit different. Okay. So I'll do 0.56, which is going to be a 1/2 inch. bolt. Give us a little bit of room to play. And once you get, I'm getting pretty good at the AutoCAD, but this is completely the opposite. Like it's not the same program at all. It's the same, it does the same thing, it's just the functions are not the same. So it gets a bit...
So what he's trying to say here is that the reason why he's slow programming right now, he's not used to this program as much as the other one he uses every day.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because the other one, you use, like when you click, it holds the, like it's different. Like this one I have to hold, the other one I don't have to hold, so it gets a little bit mixed up in between the programs, but okay.
So we're showing you this, so if you want to buy a CNC at home and do your own parts, do what Jean does.
Yeah, go on YouTube, and then you learn how to use
use the software and get used to it, and then you can do everything yourself.
Yeah. That's not what I wanted to do. Why does not move? Okay. Sure, the 250. Okay.
So those are going to be the bend tabs. And then the other, when I do cut work stuff at the other shop, we have a bigger table, so I can actually etch where I'm going to be bending and stuff. So it's a lot nicer to use actually. But this does the job just fine, especially. Okay. Here, I'm going to round off the corner. That's what I'm going to do. That's the bracket. Then I gotta put it together. Apply tool pad. Okay, so save, export. So now that bracket is designed, and now it goes into the cutting software.
Transmission. Member mounting plate. Well, actually, I wanted two of those, so I should have array. I'm gonna put two like that. Okay, and then I'm going to export it again because I want two. Export, and then I'm gonna go same. Yes. So if I go in this program, import,
And that is a Torchmate program.
yeah, it's all okay. That's my speed, 25 inches per minute, which is all right for 3/16 plate.
Let's see, that's the path it's going to take.
I'm gonna go get a piece of plate. now. It's going to do a bunch of smoke probably because there's no water in the tub.
Yeah, typically the tub is all full of water. Jean wanted to get everything cleaned up and put new strips, but things got in the way, and we need it now, so there's no point of waiting. For this cut, I'll actually do it in a time lapse now once Jean's done setting it up. Once it starts, we'll just do it as a time lapse just so it doesn't take up too much time. Because I know we're going in depth and explaining it to you. Again, we're not sure if this is the type of stuff you like, but we're throwing it in there. If you like it, let us know. If you want to learn more, let us know. It's welding time.
So we went ahead, marked the center. We measured the center of our cross member, so we have slots. We'll be able to go ahead, depending on how our bell housing is going to end up being. We can move an inch back, an inch front, so we got lots of room. And I just went ahead and clamped a plate on the bottom, and I marked the center. So starting center here, and I'm going to lay it on the plate so it's level with the frame right now. And I'm just going to go ahead and do a few small tacks there once my line. Okay, watch your eyes, guys. Oh no, you got that on video, Mark? Too much. Okay.
All right.
Take two. Okay, so we're still in the center. Go ahead and tack. Okay. We'll go to the other side. Holy sh!
Making a lot of noise.
Oh yeah.
All nice and purty.
As we were saying, we'll try to finish the welding on the frame before we take it off, because it's welded to the table right now. It's nice and square. So before we remove, we want to finish the cross members. I'll redo the back cross member. I talked about that on the last video. I'll do something that matches the front a little bit more, and it'll match the center with dimples and have it all pretty.
So once it goes on a hoist, it's all nice and pretty underneath.
It's all the same too. So okay, so center, perfect. And that's all it is to it, boys.
There ain't nothing to it but to do it.
Yep.
So right here for this cross member, as you've seen earlier, we tacked them on, but this is just temporary because we're not sure. Ideally, we'd like to have the exhaust going out back, having a little bit of like maybe have an exhaust valve that we can have it up front, but also quiet mode, which will go up back. And if that is the case, we'd want something that the exhaust can go in So we're not going to do this part yet. It's going to be temporary until we can actually decide what we want to do with the front and the exhaust itself.
And then you seen the one with the rendering there, with the exhaust coming out here, was quite different without the side pipe. So we're kind of debating what we're going to do. But if we're doing here, it's going to be probably too loud. So that's what we're figuring. And if we're going to run the exhaust through here, we'll need some pipe or some holes through the cross member. So that's why we're kind of just going to wait a little bit and figure out.
Because we're not dragging no exhaust system under there. It's not a cheap car that we want everything dragging in anywhere. So everything's going to be tucked in.
Everything's going to be, nothing's going to be lower than this.
So the exhaust needs to be higher than this bottom piece here.
So it's got to sit between the rails. So we'll see what we can do with that.
But for now, on to the strut mounts.
Yep.
So we were thinking we'd have to use the plasma cutter table again, and turns out Jean had parts laying around that are exactly what we needed. What we did is we compressed the shock first, and we were like, oh, we need this height and whatnot. And then there was one of those pieces, which are made from Ridetech. And I was like, they're exactly for that. And he's like, oh, I think those came with my lower control arms. So of course, it was made for that. So it worked out awesome. So now
we're just going to put a piece to tie them together so they're parallel, and then we'll measure from the front, make sure the shocks are straight, and we'll go ahead and tag that together, double check our angle, make sure they're the same, and then we'll build a piece here to connect both shocks, and we'll do like a little gusset here to support the frame so it doesn't want to flex.
And have everything matching the gussets.
With the dimples and
dimples everywhere. So we'll catch you back in a few seconds while that's done. Oh yeah. So what seems to be a few seconds for you has been hours. Hours on this front suspension, but it is now what we wanted. So the main thing was we wanted the exact same angle on both sides. We didn't want anything that was off at all or anything. Same thing, this needed to be level with the rest of the frame. So yeah, it was a lot of shimming here, shimming there, making everything work, but we have it. So it now matches here. What's gonna go here will be the oil, the dry sump tank will be in front here. So everything's just gonna be nice, compact, and look at that. Doesn't it look good?
Hey, you starving, Mark?
I'm starving.
I'm hungry, but
it's getting a little late. Yesterday we decided to go see a friend that we hadn't seen in a long time. And we stayed at this place till like 2:30 in the morning. Of course, we've got kids, so they are up and early in the morning.
Early.
And it's
We've been at it all day.
We honestly, to complete what we really wanted to do, was to put the body on top of it, and we wanted to see for the exhaust. So what we'll do now, I think, because
if I go to McDonald's real quick there, you'll have time.
Yeah.
To clean up a little bit of stuff on the manifold and stuff.
Yeah, because see, Jean does not want to stop right now. He wants to accomplish her goal because, you know, he hasn't done any work on this for a long time, so he wants to shred it all right away. So what he wants me to do, because we're hungry, it's late, and we just want to go inside, relax, talk a little bit, talk about what we're going to do for the next videos and whatnot. And in the meantime, but he still wants to put the body on it. So what we'll do, what I'll do while he goes to McDonald's, runs to McDonald's, is I'll remove here the extra pipe because we want to keep the collector piece, but we want to get rid of this pipe. One way or the other, it is a little too long for what we want, and we want to measure.
It's hitting right now. So
yeah, it's hitting a little bit, and we want to see what we can do to make the exhaust work. So while Jean goes to get us some food and something to drink, I'm thirsty as hell. That's what I'll do. So right now, I'm going to go on the bench, put that on the bench, and then we'll see what we can do.